All right, well, call the meeting to order.
Commissioner Delser?
Here.
Commissioner Erickson?
Here.
Commissioner Waldner?
Here.
Commissioner Abraham?
Here.
Mayor Lindsay?
Here. Before you, you have the minutes of the March 24th. Are there any additions or corrections?
I'll move to approve the minutes of the March 24th meeting.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. You also have the agenda for this evening. Any additions, corrections, modifications?
Make a motion to approve the agenda as submitted.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Appearances, acknowledgements, and correspondence. Acknowledge the annual survey of the South Dakota Public Libraries, the Madison Public Library, and Nancy Saby is here. Nancy, would you like to move to the microphone? Thank you. It makes those people at home happy when they can hear what's being said.
Okay, this is one of our annual jobs, I guess. Not necessarily one we look forward to, but the results this year, were favorable. We have managed to, increase our circulation by about 10%. And at a time when library visits are down because people are using e-resources, rather than coming actually into the building, our attendance in the building is up.
Great.
We also have more library cards this year, and I should preface this by telling you that we purge our library cards every year in September. If the card has been inactive for 3 years, it will no longer exist in our system. But even by purging and any other deletes that we've made, we have an additional 420 library cards issued in 2013. Which, I don't know if you, we have over 6,000 library cards right now that are active. So, I know you have copies of the report. If you have questions, I can answer them,
Nancy,
I think.
of those 6,000 cards, are they pretty much Lake County residents, or is it all over?
If you count the city of Madison as Lake County, they are like 98%.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the business that we do is almost, it's like two Madison to one Lake County.
Out of town. Okay.
So what's the farthest one away you have? Do you know?
I don't.
Okay.
And of course, now with the e-resources,
Yes.
anyone who is wintering, heaven only knows where, Hawaii, I know one, can download books using their library card as long as they have internet access. So that, you know, our library customers are being served 24 hours a day, anywhere they happen to be, as long as they have internet.
The world's getting smaller.
It is.
Yeah, no, very good.
Okay. And we have one, this is not part of my annual report, but we just found out this afternoon that the Madison Public Library will be the site for one of ALA's exhibits. There are 25 libraries in the United States who will get this exhibit in the next 2 years. Madison is the only library in South Dakota to get it.
Wow.
It's called Dust, Drought, and Dreams Gone Dry, and it's about the Great Depression. So Melanie Arco wrote the grant request, and we just found out today, so 2015, November 2015.
Awesome.
Very nice,
Yeah,
very nice.
anything else?
Any other questions?
I just want to make a comment if I could. I think the staff there does a fantastic job in in a society where we find so many other things to do with sports and TV and electronics and all the other things to keep us busy, to be able to have increases in usage at the library is a chore. I mean, this isn't something that just happens. They don't sit behind the desk and check in and out people and wait for the next person to come in. They actively search out getting youth active in the library so they get a taste of it before they get old and decrepit like me and haven't gone in there for a few years. So that, and the changes they've been making, moving, the book circulation isn't as strong, but they found, with the e-books and the computers and all the children's programs and all the other things that they've done to make sure they've got people in our community using this in a time when it's harder. Almost any other organization or anything else that takes a bite out of people's free time can attest to, most things are losing participation, not gaining. So for our library to be gaining and growing and bringing in exhibits from outside the state is a huge bonus for us in Madison. We should feel very fortunate of what we have here.
Very good, I agree.
Everybody agrees.
Yes. Thank you. Okay. Do we have a motion to acknowledge?
So with that, I'll acknowledge the annual survey of South Dakota Public Libraries and the Madison Public Library.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Brenda Thompson is here, and she would like to talk about the possibility of tax increment district number 3. Is that right?
Yes, are we gonna talk about that before the street vacancy resolution?
Okay.
Well, first of all, thank you for your time and your consideration tonight, and I brought a few pictures. Would you mind if I bring these up to pass around? I did put them in a book because I thought they might be easier to pass, just individually. Well, I'm so excited to tell you about the latest project I've got on my plate. I've recently purchased a part of Madison that I would consider to be a blighted area. It's the old Pearson trailer court and then also the storage units that Dennis Miller previously owned. There's a big Quonset on the storage unit land that is what I would consider to be an eyesore. There are 5 dilapidated trailers in the trailer court that are at an age that they can't be moved. So they're past their useful life probably. So it's my intention to clean up the trailer court and also either replace or refurbish that Quonset that's on the storage land. So it will give that area of town coming from the east, from Rockland Park, a whole new look. I'm also involved with the ownership of the apartments that are on the corner, and I remodeled those about 3 years ago and have had great success with that. And those are low-income apartments, and management tells me that they often get folks that are not below the eligible income level that want to live in those units but can't because they don't qualify. So this would just be another option. The trailer court will be replaced with rental units consisting of 14 two-bedroom, 1-bath townhomes with single-stall attached garages. They will be approximately 980 square feet. I think it'll be great for workforce housing, young couples, single parents, and for mature renters as well, because they will have no steps. So it'll be 0 entry. I passed around just a rough draft of what we're planning as far as the floor plan and some elevations and so forth. And that's all work in progress a little bit, depending on what we get worked out with the engineering office for maintaining that street. Because if we don't have those setbacks that are involved with the Antelope Street, it allows us a little more room for building on, and we can squeeze a few extra units on there. So that's still kind of a work in progress, so we'll have to play that by ear. I guess I should step back too and say that Toby Morris was planning on coming with me, and he is the only person in the state that I'm aware of that works on these TIF projects, so he's been a wealth of information to me, but with the weather, he's from Pierre, he decided to stay put. So tonight I had just decided to maybe give you a little background information, see if you have any questions for me, and then as we get through the hopefully get through the vacating of that street, we can take it to the next level to hopefully get your blessing to go on to the county level as far as the TIF's concerned.
Okay, very good.
Any questions for me? I tried to give you kind of a before and after scenario there with the pictures.
Just
And
tell me
they're
again.
all two-bedroom?
All two-bedroom.
All
and a
two-bedroom.
half With a one-stall attached garage.
Mhm.
Sorry, how many?
14?
14.
Okay.
Thank you.
How many trailers are in that?
There are 5 trailers.
Okay.
4 of them are vacant now.
Okay.
There is one that is occupied, and I've met with that gentleman, and encouraged him maybe to go to the city to ask for a variance to move his trailer if he'd like to stay within the community, because obviously we don't
Mhm.
want to displace anybody. But he is 80 years old and has been giving it quite some consideration for some time to go live close to his daughter in Yankton, and he just feels that now is the time. So, had
Wonderful.
a nice visit with him, and he is anxious to make that move.
Well, good.
So no one is actually being displaced?
No, they just kind of worked himself out, so, there were 3 people total, and one, gave notice prior to me taking ownership, and there's actually a little house to the south end of the property. She lived in that house, and she vacated prior to me taking ownership, and then the gentleman, other gentleman that lived in one of the trailers found an acreage to rent, so he's very excited about making that move, and he, I think, is out right now. Over the weekend, he was loading up, so.
Mhm. Okay, very nice.
I think this is a good opportunity, Madison, even with the other development we've got going. That's one of the biggest things holding us back right now. I mean, we've got jobs, we need places to put these people so they don't have to live out of town and then eventually find out it's kind of a pain to drive. So if we can get them located and started in the community and then, maybe move them from this type of housing into homes, I think this is a great step. And this is a nice complement to what's going up on Union with, being main floor, no steps. I love the idea that it's still not low income because I think we've got enough of that in town. We need that next step up. So it's something somebody can move into and feel proud about living there, not just coming home and wondering, why am I here? So,
And it is nice to have choices folks when they come to town. So different areas, different designs and so forth.
and that's a nice area that's maybe being underutilized, being close to the park there. I mean, I think that'd be great for a young family, or even, if it's a single parent, it's a nice advantage to have the park right there, because if they're anything like my family, they spend a lot of hours there.
Well, just
during the
think
summer.
about the traffic coming to the baseball fields and how nice that looks now, and now this will just complement that, and we can keep doing infill improvements throughout Madison. It just makes our cities more to be proud of.
Mhm.
A lot of
Absolutely.
good things going for us right now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the work that was, excuse me, Mayor.
And
the work
that's a
that-
high visibility area.
The work that you did on the apartments on the corner on Division really made those look nice,
Thank you.
so. Sounds good.
That was my 2 points, you kind of proven yourself with what you've done with those other apartments and really made those look nice and upgraded them very well. And the amount of traffic that we do have going to Bachman Park is, now with the baseball field down there, we're gonna get even more traffic. And also, don't forget the people coming in from the airport. That airport gets a lot of traffic coming in back and forth there as well. And so now we just need to talk to Fred and repave that street. It's a little bumpy yet, so just kind of, I had to throw that in there, so. But, yeah, definitely be able to fix that up. I mean, anytime you have nice entrances into your town is very helpful.
It definitely would have been easier to find a nice bare piece of ground, but I think in the end, this is gonna be something to really be proud of, so I'm excited.
Yep, I've driven by it, and I like your thoughts. I really do.
You're too young, but the Quonset used to be the Coca-Cola warehouse for Madison.
Oh,
Those of us that are really old.
Now, yeah, now I don't remember this, but I've been told that that gas station that was there
Yeah.
used to be the hopping place.
Oh,
in-
Tom
in
Standard,
town, yeah.
absolutely.
Well, the A&W used to be just west
Right,
of it.
yep, yep.
So,
See all this
It's a
history?
trip down memory lane. If you wanna go on a tour someday, we'll just get in the car and I'll drive you around. I have to have a box of Kleenexes, so
Yeah.
I get a little teary there, you know.
Is it your intent to ask the county to sponsor it?
Yes.
So the city will just have to pass a resolution allowing the county to do so.
And I'm not asking for the city to bond for it or anything. I'll find my own funds to fund the TIF.
So it would be similar to TIF number 2, where the city and the county and that really are held without obligation.
Exactly.
It does affect your bond and indebtedness, though, doesn't it?
Yeah, it still does, yeah.
I'd like to know dollars when you get close, if you could, because then we can figure out, talk to David and Jen about where we are on that.
Well,
We're working hard on
We're,
those numbers
yeah,
right now.
and we'll work with the county, so.
Good.
All right.
Okay, so there's nothing to do with the tax district tonight?
There's nothing for us to do tonight. We'd have to pass
Just-
a resolution, which could be on the agenda as soon as next week.
Okay, but we don't have one.
What we do have, though, is the next agenda item is also purchase.
Yes.
So,
And that is acknowledge a petition for the vacation of the street and set a date of hearing for a vacation of the southmost portion of Antelope Avenue, north of Third Street. And that date would be April 21st, if I'm correct. Okay. So in that drawing that went around, and that it would be,
Got a
So
map
that-
well,
from
yeah,
Julie
it-
that has a nice little view of that. It's this, kind of this drainage way that goes through
Mhm.
between the storage units and the trailer park. So you see where these rocks are, that's kind of a drain there. Maybe Chad's got a better picture, but Julie's came up with this one. But it's this little pathway through here that leads straight back to Antelope and then to pass that one.
it is not a utilized part of the street now. It does have, and correct me if I'm wrong, Chad, because Chad and I visited on this piece, it does have water and sewer and electrical. And Brenda has visited with Chad, and in the vacation, the city would retain, the ability to service and take care of, our needs, in this vacation. What it does do is it does remove the setback limitations if it was to be an active street, so that it allows for a nicer, safer development.
How many, once you get to the north side of that, what is the road? Is it Third Street, the east and west?
Fourth Street.
Fourth Street?
On the north
Yeah.
side.
How, approximately how many blocks would that be if that Fourth Street kept on going to the east?
Basically,
So one block until you hit pavement again, that's undeveloped?
if Fourth Street kept going to the east.
Yeah.
Wait, from Antelope?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, from Tim Peters south is where it doesn't exist.
That's
Yeah,
Antelope-
but if you-
That's
if you-
Antelope Avenue.
East and west.
Yeah, if you went east to, what is that housing development to the east?
Oh, Hampton Court.
Yeah, Hampton
Yeah.
Court, is
That's
there
about a half a block,
half a block?
right? And
So
we
there's
do-
about a block and a half maybe that's already developed on the other side? Roughly, so it would
Basically,
be.
directly north of
1,
Antelope
2.
Avenue,
It would, from, what I'm looking for is from Division over to the airport road, we'd have about 3 blocks that wouldn't have any roads going south if we did
Right.
this, is that correct?
That's approximately.
There's been a discussion for many years about obtaining a right-of-way through there. There's, Chad and I have
There
talked
has.
about that. There's some right-of-way on.
My only concern on this is just the sheer lack of ability to get to that area of town. And I think we've had instances during the flood and things when the only way to get emergency services out to that area of town is going north of town or south. And not that this, you know, I guess the only thought is giving up this right of way. I don't know that that would dramatically impede that process. It's the road going east and west that we need to finish off, and then, you know,
Right.
it gives us access over there. You know, if we lose
Fifth Street
Old
is,
34.
is in the, we have received quite some time ago, a preliminary plan from a developer for Fifth Street eventually to connect up with Fifth Street in that,
Okay.
in the Windsor Estates development. But that would, not so much Fourth Street.
I guess what I'm talking about is down the road. I know it's not coming anytime soon. Giving up this one street, are we gonna look back at it and go, you know, what were those guys thinking? They just cut us off at the knees because we can never fix this. But I don't know that that's a big, I mean, one more block, it's more the east and west streets that are really gonna gain us access. That's the only thing.
Yeah.
Scott, I look at it as, you know, we come off Division, going west, the next one is Prairie. And at least it is a shorter distance than those two.
What I'm saying is down the road. I mean,
Yes,
we've got
no,
really
no,
one
I
city street to
agree.
get there. If we add Fifth Street at some point, that's two.
Well,
Is there a need, you know, is there multiple need, you know, do we need multiple access points to go east and west to hit that area? You know, I'm just thinking of, you know, police and fire and those type of things. At the top of my head, it doesn't seem like it's gonna make a major impact, but, I mean, those are the types of things I think we need to think about now. I think you're still gonna need to go, you can go off on Third, you can go off on Fourth or Fifth and still work your way through there. If Fifth goes all the way through, it's not.
With it only being a block.
that was
from
my
Division,
point, is that
you know.
Division is the feeder street north and south, all the way up into the Twin Oaks area and all that new stuff. That's a real problem, because I always thought, you know, you could, you know, but it's like building a sidewalk next to an existing sidewalk, like Chad, you know, Antelope Avenue is only a block to the east. What they need is another street farther to the east, coming out of that addition, and if-
Which
if-
essentially will be
if-
the airport road, I would say.
Well, that's the next one, but I think somewhere, I think, isn't it Windsor Heights is out there?
Right, Windsor
that-
Estates.
The Windsor Estates, that there is a possible alleyway of land available that might someday, you know, should be developed to get a north-south road coming out of that area, and if Fifth Street goes across, then those two would make it.
I guess that's my question. Is there another, do we have another right-of-way going
No.
north and south to the east?
We don't.
I didn't
There's a
think so,
developer
but-
who currently owns Windsor Estates, also owned a strip of land approximately 8 foot wide, which is a normal right-of-way width, that would connect into Third Street. He did. I believe he's actually sold that now. We didn't make him, press him into dedicating that, you know, but it is identified on our comprehensive plan that we want another access from Third Street to the north there, because you're at Airport Road and you're at Division, and to get another one in there. In
It's
addition-
private land. The answer,
Yeah,
the answer to your question is, we don't have a right-of-way, we don't have a public right-of-way,
Right.
there's some land that you could get.
Right.
That's, you know, that's really not her issue, but like I said, I understand, and I wanna go on record, our office is assisting in the petition for vacation, so I won't be, participating in the vote. But because they're so close, you know, and I always thought, yeah, it'd be a good place, because the street, you can see right where the street should go, but it really isn't gonna help that much. Because if you look at the way the streets are designed up there, you get past Sixth Street, and the people from Windsor Heights, or not Windsor Heights, Twin Oaks Drive and all that area, can't come down that way anyway, because
Right.
there's no feeder
Right.
street out of there, you know.
There's a house at the end of it.
Yeah, so, it's just, it wasn't that big a deal, so.
The other thing I'd like to add is that it's kind of a drainage area, so I wouldn't want, I mean, I would be afraid if you built a street up, what it would do to the property on both sides of it, because it's a pretty natural drainage area
Right.
too.
And that's what I would also anticipate, I'm glad you brought that up, is we have two water lines and a sanitary sewer line there. And then the overground drainage will probably be we have already been discussing it with the designers for this, and then the attorneys about also maintaining easement rights for the drainage as well. So,
And I did see that was marked today, so I think they're coming up tomorrow to look at that.
okay, yeah.
And this would obviously help with that too. then, correct? It would help with the drainage.
It would maintain that drainage,
Yeah.
that grassy drainage, green space area by, it would never be developed into a hard surface
Right.
street. Yep.
Just slow it down.
Yeah, actually does.
I make a motion to acknowledge petition for vacation of the street and set date of hearing for Antelope Avenue, set date of hearing of March 21st at 5:35. April.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. So April 21st, 5:35 PM will be the hearing. So,
Thank you.
thank you. Acknowledge the February investment report, gross salaries, and bills for ratification.
Questions?
I would make a motion to acknowledge the February investment report, gross salaries and bills for ratification.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Old business. Second reading of ordinance number 1555, Chapter 6, Buildings. Chad, is there anything that you would like to add to that?
Well, this is the second reading of the building code adoption, of the 2012 building code adoption. The first reading was 2 weeks ago. Since that time, I haven't had nobody come and talk to us, had questions about it. And talking with Ryan earlier today, he said as well, for him, there's been nobody come in. In addition to that, after that first reading, Ryan sent out about 35 letters to the builders, informing them of what's going on, and summarized and hit on some of the high points of adjustments in the code, and there's been no concerns or questions brought up by them
Okay.
either. So that's about all unless you want me to go into any more detail, it's more just updating from the 2006 code, from the International Building Codes folks, into the 2012. They come out every 3 years, and we didn't go 9, but now we're doing.
And most builders are going to be familiar with it. They're just going to be looking to see what the changes are.
Right.
So,
The fee structure did not change.
other questions or discussion?
Make a motion to approve second reading of ordinance number 1555, Chapter 6, Building Codes.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Well, another old business is the second reading of ordinance 1556, Fire Prevention Adopted Code and Amendments. And I see Randy isn't here, but he did speak to this before. Chad, are you aware of anything that he's heard otherwise?
No, I haven't had any concerns brought to my attention, and I don't think any brought to Ryan's attention either. On this one, these are companion codes, if you will. These are also from the International Code Council. And I do want to note, Randy worked on this one, but Ryan worked very hard on both this code and the building code, getting it put together, because it's a code about that thick.
Yep.
And I commend him again on that, because it's good, and it's been a good program since I think it's been adopted in 2007, I believe, when we adopted the other code, so.
Very good. Any other discussion?
I'll move to approve second reading of ordinance 1556, Fire Prevention Adopted Code and Amendments.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Under new business, thank you, Ryan, approve the professional services agreement amendment number 1, HR Green, and I'm going to ask Jennifer to address this first.
Only that I was wanting, the agenda should have stated authorize the mayor to sign the agreement. What's wrong with that?
Okay.
Go ahead, Chad.
And then Chad, did you have anything you'd like to add?
Yeah,
to this?
basically, this is the second part of the reconstruction of Highway 34 through town. H.R. Green has been consulted, hired by the state for both the east-west stretch of the reconstruction, Second Street in 2016, and now also recently for Washington Avenue, the Washington Avenue portion in 2017. And as back in September, we entered into an initial agreement with H.R. Green to do the water and the sewer components of that for coordination, among other things. And then this hires them essentially to do the water and the sewer portion on the Washington Avenue, part of the DOT project. We're anticipating doing the water and the sewer, redoing those along that stretch. The estimate right now is about, 1.3 million for our portion of that work. And then the road, I believe the DOT has it about 4 million, so it's a pretty significant project.
Other questions?
I'd make a motion to authorize the mayor to sign the professional services agreement, amendment number 1 with H.R. Green.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. You also have attached bills for approval.
I need to request an amendment to that, if I could, please. In addition, we need to renew our insurance packet. The insurance that we carry through the South Dakota Public Assurance Alliance has come due. Finished up on the paperwork late last week, so it didn't hit this batch, okay? Includes general liability, government officials, auto liability, auto damage, law enforcement, property. So all coverage that we have. We grouped them all together. It has been fragmented in past years. A piece was due here, a piece was due there. We lumped it all together. It's all due April 1st, okay? That will add $135,675.38 to our list of bills, for a new total of $573,930.64, please.
That's the yearly premium for that first number.
The 135
Yeah.
is the total premium. Yep.
Just make sure you get that governmental officer protection stuff. That got my attention.
I make a motion, go ahead. I make a motion to approve the bills as amended.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the bills as amended. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We also have attached bills for ratification.
I would make a motion to ratify the bills.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion, motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. You also have an attached personnel adjustment. And any questions or comments?
Make a- Go ahead.
Go ahead, Nick.
I'd make a motion to approve the personnel presented.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Seeing no other announcements or other business, do we have a motion to adjourn?
So move.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay, we are adjourned.